Okay, I think I'm recording. Today we're gonna make a really easy and really cheap soup that's really popular in like Mexico. Sometimes it's called soup de feo, or in this case we're making Estrella, which I'm sorry if I like butchered the pronunciation of it, but it's like stars. They call it like little stars or Mexican tomato soup. And it's really good and it's really cheap to make and it's really hearty. This is gonna cost me like maybe about $3 to make. Because if you have some bouillon cubes on hand, some tomato sauce, and a couple of pantry items, you can make this. Like that literally cost me like $3 to make. It's a really nice comfort food, and I don't remember where I learned how to make it. I think one of my Hispanic friends taught me how to make it, but I just been making it for a long time and I really like it. And it's good if you only have a few bucks on hand and but you want to like make something for dinner and you literally like are on a strict budget, but it's really easy to make and really does not cost you a lot. You're going to start off with a 7-ounce bag of Little Stars pasta. I got these at 59 cents at my local Mexican supermarket. They probably sell them at a regular supermarket. It's from La Moderna. It's hard to tell with the macaroni noodle posing as a letter. But this is when you see these tiny, tiny little pastas and you're just like, okay, well, what do you do these with these? It's made used basically just to make, Mexican tomato soup, and it's really good for it because a little bit does go a long way. I got these for 59 cents. So we're going to use Little Stars. And if you don't want to use these, you can use any other, like, from, like, I can't talk to. Why is it that I can never, ever talk? But you can use, any brand of, like, little short pastas. So you can be creative with it, but the Little Stars are the consensus. And we're going to take one. Ugh, I have no grace today, or ever. We're going to take one Roma tomato and cut it up, and then a fourth of a cup diced onion. And then you need one 8-ounce can of tomato sauce. I got this at Aldi for like a quarter. See how cheap it is to make. And then you're going to need either 2 cans of any type of broth. It can be beef broth, it can be chicken broth. I'm using chicken. Vegetable broth. And if you don't have that, you can just take some bouillon cubes and make it to about almost 4 cups. I made 4 cups just to round it off. So I just took a few bouillons, heated it up, and let it dissolve. And I have it just so I can have it all at once. And you can use like tomato, you can use literally any type of bouillon. Because with tomato, it's pretty versatile. And then you're going to need salt and pepper. I said that in reverse. And any type of oil. I just had coconut oil on hand, but you can literally use anything. And this is really easy. So we're going to show you how to make it, and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. You want to take your oil and you want to put enough to just coat the bottom of the pan. You really don't need a lot. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your bag of stars or whatever tiny little pasta, dump it in there, and we're going to toast them in there with the onion. So just take the onion and just add it in there. Yeah. You're just hoping my camera doesn't go off because this camera's been giving me a lot of problems lately. That in my house is apparently haunted, but whatever. But you want to coat it with the oil, and you want to cook the pasta when it has like a nice toasty looking color and the onion cooks through. So when it looks like that, we're going to come back to it. Okay, and we're back. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but my noodles have gotten they're starting to get a little toasty. And that's how you know when it's ready. I can see that they're like starting to become a toasty brown. Don't burn them. If you're not sure, just wait until your onion starts to become translucent and your noodles will start toasting along with it. But you'll see that they become like little toasty brown colors and spots. But this is nice and toasty. So we have it where we want it. And then you're going to take your chicken broth. That went out and got me. But you're going to take your chicken stock or your beef bouillon or whatever stock you have. We're going to add that in. Followed by our tomato sauce. Make sure you get all that tomatoey goodness in there. Sorry about the train. This town is a buttload for wanting trains to pass through it. Okay. So mix that in there. And then we're going to mix in the tomato. And you're going to want to bring it to a boil. And then when it comes to a boil, we're going to simmer it on low for 10 minutes. We'll be back when it's doing that. Okay, so now our soup is gently boiling. You don't want it to have like, a roaring boil, but just enough to start cooking your vegetables that are in there and your noodles. So you're going to want to do that for 10 minutes. Just make sure it's on like a nice low boil, like how you would cook any pasta, basically. So we're going to do this for 10 minutes, and when it's done, we're going to come right back to it. Okay, we're back. 10 minutes has passed. You see that the noodles have gotten nice and cooked, and it's thick. And what you're going to do is you're going to add 2 cups of really hot water. Like that. And then you're just going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. I almost said pepper, like that guy from You Suck at Cooking. He's one of my favorite cooking YouTube channels. So you should check him out. And we're going to add a little bit of salt at the end. You see how nice that looks? And then after, what you're going to do is when it comes back down to a boil or simmer, you're going to cook it for 2 more minutes, and then the soup is done. So we're going to do that. And then just wait for it to come back to a boil. And when it boils, turn down the heat a little and let it boil for another 2 minutes. And then the soup is done. Okay, and we're done. You see it's nice and thick, loaded with nice noodles and vegetables. It tastes really good. And if you want the best way to serve it is with Mexican style cream, sour cream. I got this at my local Mexican supermarket for like $2. Mexican sour cream is like much thicker. Just put like a nice little dollop on that. You don't have to, but it's like, the best way to do it. And I like stirring it in. It gives it like a really good flavor. And it was that easy. And it cost me $3. And you can feed your family with that. I like mixing it in. I made it look like revolting, but that's the way I like it. But you don't have to do it that way. I made a nice thick creamy soup out of it with some Mexican style sour cream. And thank you to the people who've subscribed to me in the comments on my last video. Oh, speaking of which, I'll have to show you how the coolicle turned out. I'll be right back. Here's the coolicle from the last video. Nice vibrant red. Goes all the way through. It's like a sweet cherry flavor to it. Kind of like a relish, but it is really good. And to the people who commented on my last video, thank you for your theories as to what the weird voices might have been. Honestly, don't know. I collect weird old objects, so maybe energy from there might have transferred, like, haunted objects. I'm the haunted collector you see on the Sci-Fi Channel. But I have kitchen appliances that are like 60, 80 90 years old. So it could be a possibility as to that energy transferred. Because my mother used to live in this apartment and she didn't really experience anything weird, but I do have old stuff that could have came from God only knows where. I like collecting it, so it might have been a spirit energy transference or whatever, or maybe camera malfunction. I don't know, but I also live by Memorial Park, which is literally you can see it out my back window. And it used to be the cemetery for this town until they moved it, but they weren't able to move every grave because not every family claimed them. So there's a lot of coffins with unmarked graves. And then towards the beginning entrance of our park, there's some tombstones that are there and they're like gated off. So that could be a possibility too. That and this house was built in 1871. So there's a lot of history, but whatever it was, I don't know. I try to rule out the possibility of me whispering because my boyfriend says that I do talk to myself when I'm kind of like in a zone, but he said I wasn't because I was making him food and stuff, and he's like, that wasn't you because you weren't saying anything. So I don't know what it is, but hopefully it won't come back. But I've never been bothered by anything in the house. It seems whatever it is, it's benevolent, but it's up to you to, come to your own conclusion as to what it is. But thank you to the people who subscribe to me. I like the suggestions, I like the comments, I like interacting. And you guys are the reason I keep doing this. And I hope this channel grows to where I can have a large interactive base. And all I want to do is help people make some cheap recipes. So, like, subscribe, send me a suggestion, whatever. But I'm going to go because I really want to put down this pickle. It's kind of getting weird that I'm just holding a pickle.